So I'm going to start with my London kind of trip. One of the most important things for any business is to really have inspiration about where do you get your ideas from, where do you take the business forward, what do you do next? And actually one of the hardest things is to actually get the ideas in the first place. One of the places that I always recommend people go is that if you've ever heard of something called TED Talks, they're really good. But actually look both in your own industry to see best practice and see what other people do, but also look in other industries. And although I'm a mechanical engineer, so I have a technical industry background, when I look at the business education space, that's great. And that's what I look to compete directly against and outdo. But one of the things that's really important is to also look at sectors which are adjacent or have stuff that you can learn, which actually can really add value to your product or service and give you a big kind of jump forward. So I've listed down a few. And actually, these are just things that kind of work for me, but I'd love to know for you, where do you get your inspiration from? And actually just, what kind of works for you? So the first one, which, was a big inspiration for me, is that there's a company called Peloton, who basically are an exercise and fitness tech kind of company that really kind of transformed the ability to do live fitness classes in the home. So they do a range of bikes and treadmills and stuff. And actually based on that and their kind of model, one of my dreams was to try and create the Peloton of business education. So with Peloton, you can go on and you can choose your different presenters, your different classes on demand and watch whatever you want, whenever you want. Or you can join a live session like this and kind of get involved. And what I'd love to do, and this is part of my dream for 5-10 years in the future, is to have that kind of thing where basically at the moment we have 3 presenters. I'm hoping to build that more. But actually people present in Spanish and German and Chinese and different kind of languages and cultures, so that it's relevant for different people, because not everyone wants to learn from a middle-aged white guy that speaks English. And actually I'm okay with that. But the one thing that I thought was really cool was that down one of the back streets, because my wife and I, we like to wander around cities when we go places, was actually to find the London Peloton studio. And for me, this is a room which I have in a co-working space, which is where I operate the studio from. But actually they had like a proper TV studio with an entrance in Studio 1, Studio 2 and the setup, and they invite people in to join classes live and that kind of thing. And it's inspiration from stuff that helps set the goal and the ambition that actually for me really kind of works. Next, actually, there was a makeup brand. So my wife loves makeup. So when we go around shopping, she'll look at all the stuff. But actually, I always like to look at the brands and how do they sell themselves. And actually, there was a makeup brand called Glossier. And what was quite funny was that their logo is very similar to Supreme, if you know Supreme. So it was very bold. But actually, their Covent Garden store was all about brand experience. It wasn't so much about selling stuff, although that was important, but it was trying to make the user feel special, and just all the little touches, which are called delighters, just really kind of give value and help kind of just inspire the customer that they feel some sort of affiliation with the brand. And one of the things that I loved was actually when their stuff, so you would go find out what you want, you place the order like an Apple store, they do it on the little gadget, and it will get sent up from downstairs to the person that gives you your product. But say in the Apple store, they walk through the back, get the box and bring it through, which is the simple way to do it. But in this store, they actually had, it was like a really fancy mechanism that sent up your bag with your name on it. So it had Lisa written on it. But actually it was clever. It just made it special. It made you want to take a photo of the thing and talk about it. But it's the magic is in actually kind of making it special. And what I always try and do is just look at stuff like that, which you can apply to your brand. How can you actually add delight to your customer in a way which maybe nobody else does? And I think that was quite cool. On the flip side though, from a disability accessibility thing, there was probably a flight of 15 steps to get up to get into their Covent Garden store, which isn't great for a lot of people. And it's just really interesting to see companies that do things incredibly well, but then maybe fall down in other areas. But that's the whole point of where you get inspiration and ideas from, so that when you look to create your product or service or business, there are kind of things that you can do to really help make that work. Yeah, and then one of the other things as well, so we'd stayed in a hotel at near King's Cross, and next to King's Cross train station, there's the new Google headquarters, which I think is $1 billion building, which is massive. It looks like the Death Star. And on that one of the things that I find quite funny is that in the northeast of England, we have fantastic businesses, fantastic people, but it's not as big as London, the skyscrapers we have it. I think we technically maybe have 2 or 3 skyscrapers, but not compared to the big cities. But when you go to a big city like London or New York, the scale of the opportunity is just massive. So actually getting to see the Google headquarters and what they're looking to do sets ambitions that is, top level. There's no reason why your business can't reach that level. When Sergey and the guys really started and invented Google, they probably didn't have ambitions to be at that level, but it just happened through constant hard work. And actually, I find that really inspiring. And then likewise, we walked around the city, went up the Shard, which is quite cool, which is the tallest building in Europe, or I think it is, and also somewhere called the Sky Garden as well. But actually, just when you can see the scale of London from a business opportunity point of view, there are millions of people there that can buy into your product or service. And sometimes you just need that inspiration to really help you set the goals for what you want to achieve. Then last but not least, there was 2 more things. One is independent shops. I love walking down back streets to really find artists and really kind of cool stuff. And one of the big themes that seemed to come out from a lot of different brands was customization. So if you're a sneaker company and you sell Nike shoes, as a lot of people do, how can you make your brand and your store stand out? And one way to do that is customize the shoes. But this is true with artwork, it's true with loads of really good stuff. So again, for your brand or for me with the roadmap, how for the customers can I customize the packs and do things that both make it personal and unique to them, but actually make them feel special, make sure that they feel, that they've got something that nobody else has. And it's these kind of things that you can really build into your business that don't actually have to cost any money, but it's really just thinking outside the box of stuff that you can do. And then last but not least, and I put a post out on social about this, was I love going to the BBC. So outside the BBC, there's a coffee shop, which is a Nero's, which is inside the kind of horseshoe, if you've ever seen the building. And you can sit there and have a coffee and just watch celebrities and presenters and stuff just go in and out and do their day-to-day stuff. But essentially what I have here is a mini TV live stream kind of studio. And the ultimate 100-year established people that do that in the UK arguably is the BBC. And I just find it really inspirational to kind of see that machine kind of work. And then also on some of the life goals type stuff as well. Just, one day I would love to present there or be part of it or just get involved or be interviewed about what we're doing with the roadmap. But the whole point is that it's really good to expose yourself to these new things, these new encounters, and actually just use it as motivation to help set your goal and direction for the future. I find it really useful. It's one of the big things that I love doing when I go away on a trip, is really just to learn kind of new stuff. So that's quite cool as well. And I just wanted to share that with you. So if you catch this on YouTube or any of the other channels, please like and subscribe. And then actually, I'd love to know for your business, what are your hopes, dreams, goals, and ambitions? And also, where do you get your inspiration from as well?